So, you want to survive the zombie apocalypse. And if you recognise that intro, you will recognise Marvel's Zombies. This is a collaboration between Simon, Marvel and Spin Masters and Guillotine Games. My understanding is Spin Masters own the license for Marvel from a board game perspective, and Marvel worked recently with Simon Guillotine Games to produce a substantial zombicide version of Marvel Zombies. This, on the other hand, is a Spin Masters production. I did contact Spin Master Games UK, and they didn't seem to be aware of the existence of this game, although it had already released in Australia. This one I had shipped from America, so this is available in the United States from Amazon.com. So I paid to have it shipped across. But this is, in essence, a small box, off-the-shelf production, the smallest to date, as far as we're aware, of Zombicide. Zombicide has never been produced to this scale before. You see the wonderful artwork here, but hopefully you're recognising from that intro and from these characters, this is, in essence, the What If series version of Marvel Zombies, the board game, the Heroes Resistance, because these characters that come in here, as somebody pointed out on the Facebook group, are the same characters we find in the What If Zombies episode, which is really, really cool. Marvel Zombies has been around for a long time now, came in original comic form quite a number of years ago. I believe it was 2005. And then they did the What If series, which was a massive success, very, very well received, and I believe they are now in talks to produce a What If TV show. Now, my understanding is that is not going to be live action, it is going to be an animation, so effectively a much more in-depth What If series, which I'm really looking forward to. I really enjoy the Zombicide game. The Simon production is fantastic. I'm not convinced this is going to be anywhere near as good from a production perspective, but I'm very excited to dig into it. In fact, I know it's not going to be anywhere near the same scale, but that does not deter me. I love Marvel. I love everything that's happening in the MCU at the moment, so the fact that this is a board game directly tied with that is super exciting for me. Gameplay about 1 hour, 1 to 4 players to play. Recommended 14 plus, which I find amusing. I almost think of this as my first Zombicide, but we'll see. But this is, yeah, as I say, a Spin Masters production. And let's dig in. So excited. Okay, this is very compact, very well packaged. Nice little freebie something. And look at the neat fit on that rulebook. I love that. I love the fact that the rulebook is just the same size as the box, and it is absolutely flush, really well designed. These are all the card tokens that come with the box. So let's have a look before we dig into those. This is the rulebook. So on the back we have a summary of the rules. So you get the round summary for hero mode. So we're playing the heroes fighting against the zombies. So you get how to increase your power tracks and refresh your activation tokens, etc. You get your enemy phase, and the end phase you get your targeting. So as the heroes trying to fight zombies, and you run into those areas to defeat them, depending on the things that are in that area will determine what you can and can't target from a priority perspective. I have seen comments, it's quite a wide design in terms of the layout of the book. That doesn't bother me so much. The writing's a little bit small, but it's fine. Really well laid out and designed, however. Yeah, just loving the feel of this, and obviously you see some of the components in there. So you get 4 double-sided player boards, which we'll come to in a moment. You get your hero characters that you can play through. So as you can see there, we have Bucky, for those recognising the What If series. Of course, Spider-Man, Black Panther, various zombies. You get your traditional tropes of your walkers, your runners, your brutes. Of course, Vision. And it just lays out very simply how to play the main mechanisms of the game, and you get somewhere around about 20 pages of the rules, and then you start digging into missions. So we've got 30 odd pages in total, so you've got about 10 pages, 10 different missions to play through, which is a good number. It'll be interesting to see if they do produce some extra missions for free, which certainly Simon do for a number of their games. And that barcode again there on the inside of the magazine, of the rulebook. Very good. And just to show you around the edge of the inside of the box, get to see some of the tropes. Your walker, your runner, your brute. And we get to see some of our heroes. There's a bit of a ding on the corner there. So Winter Soldier, Spider-Man, Vision. And then we get our zombies, the bad guys, which again will be recognised from the animation. So these two were the first seen as Thanos's minions appear and get straight away taken out by Doctor Strange and Iron Man. And then later we encounter Wanda, the Scarlet Witch. And then fairly early on we encounter Captain America. And then we also have Black Panther, Hulk and the Wasp. And the Wasp was of course the original source in the What If series. Spoiler alert. As Hank Pym travels to the nanoverse, as it were, to find his wife, and discovers that she has, of course, contracted, in essence, the zombie virus. So it comes with these punchboards on the top, and we'll get the tiles underneath. Very, very colourful. Really liking the artwork. So let's dig into these. There seems to be a bit of easy cut points there, so that's good. Okay, I'm going to open these up. Very well packaged, nice and tight. There we go. Yeah, so that's so these are the skill trackers rather than being on the actual player board themselves, as they would be in normal Zombicide and in the big Kickstarter, which will be coming later next year. They pop out really nicely. Tags on there, but that's all good. Yeah, I mean you can't really feel them, so they're really nice. And I believe that these pop out. Will be situated above these, and you would turn these. Loving the design of this, very in keeping. They always do a great work on all the graphic design, but yeah, I mean all of these punch out really nicely. And then rather than the whole usual hordes of plastic that you would get with a Simon game, these come with Standees, so all your zombies that you would normally have as miniatures Or Standees. There we go, so you get some brutes, some runners, and some walkers. These tags can be a bit troublesome, but no, they're not too bad. They punch out nice and neat. And we get the bystanders as well. So we've got Jenna Johnson, Happy, who's never happy, Pepper Potts. So Happy's in there. So let's see if we've got a. Here we go. So that was the scene, of course. Oh, and it does include Agent Carter. Oh, I thought I had a picture for, but appear not to have. Very good. The Avengers sign has fallen off the Avengers Tower. Yep, so damaged, crumpled on one side, normal on the other. So the notion is the heroes can pick this up and throw this at zombies to cause damage in a mass area. And then the first time you've used it, it's then damaged, and then the second time it's completely consumed, is how I recall it from the main Zombicide Kickstarter. So I'm sure there'll be tropes of that in here. And then these are the 4 boards. Come the city scenes, really nicely coloured. So these are bystander icon, I guess, and then I guess this would be where you would spawn. And these are labelled in every corner, which is quite nice. Some of the games you just get them and they're labelled in one corner, you search it around when you pull a board out, so that's quite nice. So there's only 4 in this instance. I believe there is a reference to potential expansions in the rulebook, so whether there will be expansions for this iteration or whether they're making reference to maybe the bigger Marvel Zombicide that is coming, we'll be interested to see. Daily Bugle sign from there, so it should be the ground floor of the Daily Bugle. A couple of spawn zones and a bystander. And Oscorp, of course. So it should be the Goblin's glider. I believe these may well be some of the original tiles that we see in the Kickstarter as well, coming out, as I say, later next year. So let's dig in like this rather than the normal just a cardboard insert. It's nice to have a plastic insert. So let's have a look at the player boards. And agree with the comment that I saw that rather than having these individually wrapped, having them in a nice little plastic fold pouch is really nice. No risk of trying to dig your nail in and damaging cards, which is very annoying when it happens. So we've got Spider-Man with acrobatics. They really are quite compact from a size perspective, these cards, and various abilities. I believe on the back, yeah, we've got the I think these are similar to the original graphics, in fact. Yeah, and that's the design of the miniature, in fact, that's coming with the Kickstarter edition. And the Hulk, the Wasp, Black Panther, Spider-Man. Very good. Go. Vibranium claws. The wasp stings, so these are their native abilities. Gamma Rage. Fire off energy beams. The Winter Soldier. Excellent. Really like the look of those. And this all just pops off as one go. It's quite interesting, these just little divots to keep them in place. Of course, get the dice. So these are going to be exactly the same dice as we're going to get and see in Marvel Zombicide and that Rise, but it's really nice actually. These there's nice sized indentations and divots in the actual dice itself. Really nice differentiation between that sort of blood red and that black. Nice glossy, very good weight and size to them. Of course, teeth on the number 1, and you do not want to be seeing teeth. So now I like that, very nice. These are, as you can hear, hard plastic, so which is not always great. You can find when painting miniatures on the base, these can of course cause that extra bit of rub and friction, causing that paint job to deteriorate. Oops, but these will be for the 4 players to denote their characters. And then you have the same 4 colours matching on your player boards as little sliders that you move across to track your various abilities. A life, which will start at 3 here, and then your power that will build up over time, so you'd slide those on to keep track of those. We have these little clip together bits, so these will be for the dials for the skills that we saw earlier. A whole plethora of transparent standees, and again I did see some comments online about different. It would be nice to either have coloration around the different zombies for runners, fatties and walkers, or even having different colour bases just to expedite the differentiation on the playing board. But yeah, something that can be done very easily and simply. Here we go. So this is the typical cellophane wrap of cards. At least you've got a bit of a good sized corner on there. Just be able to get in there, open them up without damaging the contents, which I always find personally a little bit of a frustration. And here's a nice little ditty cards. Here we go. So the Avenger sign reference card. So this tells you how you can use that Avenger sign. There we go. So roll a die for each enemy in a targeted zone when you pick it up and throw it. Arrows ignore for this attack. Flip a token to its damage side after its first use and remove it after its second use. So yeah, so the gameplay is exactly the same as it will be for the Kickstarter when that comes. And then instead of, as you're moving around with your heroes, instead of looking for weapons that you can find, you can get these heroic traits instead. And the idea of these is they are opportunities to power up, as it were. I believe. Oh, that was a couple that. Oh no! So they've got a couple of heroic traits that will actually cause you concern as well, so you can mix those in. Otherwise they give you various sort of power-ups and determined and focused and yeah, all kinds of goodies that you can add on a round by round basis to soup your supers. We have our bystanders that we saw the standees for. So J. Jonah Jameson, Okoye, Pepper Potts, Sarah Sharon Carter, who was of course in the What If, Wong, who was also in the What If as a zombie, in fact, along with Doctor Strange, Happy Hogan, who was accompanied in the What If series. So they are the bystanders we'll be rescuing. And then of course we have our A-bombs, our abominations. So we get the graphics on the back. So we have Captain America, have Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, and Doctor Strange. And these are alternative sculpts, in fact, to the Kickstarter editions. I'm really interested to see just how well those miniatures have come out. And then these, of course, are the zombie deck that we'll get. So as we power up our heroes, you'll have more and more zombies pouring onto the board, trying to defeat us, consume us, distract us from achieving our mission objective. And then, of course, we come to the main reason everyone's here, which is the miniatures. Man, these look good. I do like these. These are good quality sculpts, actually. I was concerned that they weren't going to be that good, but these will paint up really, really well. And they've just done a great job of just capturing how small the head is on that Hulk and just giving that real sense of bulk. So these are the heroes that can be played. Yeah, I did see a comment online about it's a bit of a strange head on Spider-Man there. Seems to be a bit bigger than would be expected from a perspective, but again, I think it'll paint up really well. And these are great little action poses. Really enjoying these. Just looking brilliant. Got Black Panther, of course. Winter Soldier. They've done a really good job on these sculpts. Just interesting, hollowing out on all of the bases. And they've done a great job just capturing some of that dynamic pose. And the sort of the bolt and the nut, giving you a sense of scale of this tiny wasp. Vision. The flowing cape, and giving that sense of flying and floating. And then, of course, the zombies. So we have Iron Man. They've done a great job there, just on those details. Brilliant. Doctor Strange. And I like the fact that you've got the different colorations as well for the zombie miniatures versus the good guys, the heroes. Just for those that aren't into painting miniatures, then they just look great when they're out there on the board in play. And then finally, of course, Captain America. So I'm really excited to get this to the table. Be excited to get these onto the painting table as well, to be honest with you. These are come up really nicely. There's a good level of detail in there. It's just going on his leg. Fantastic. And that's it. So thanks for watching, and hopefully very shortly you'll be seeing some playthroughs and missions as well. So if you like that, then please give us a like below, hit subscribe for some more content, and hopefully see you soon. Thanks for watching, family. Bye.